Hey Tech Fam, how's it going? Welcome back to another video on the channel. And at some point in time, you may have been in the New York City Transit subway station, and you might have seen one of these little cards lying around. When I meant by this little card, I meant this card more in particular. This right here is the Metro card, and this is gonna be a little piece of a history almost very soon. And before we talk about why it's becoming history, I want to discuss two different things before we get to that. Number one, the history of the Metro card, and also the rise of it too. Then later on, we'll talk about its downfall and the problems with the downfall as well. So, without further ado, this video is called The Rise and the Downfall of the Metro card. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So first up, let's talk about the history of the Metro card. And I want you guys to picture this real quick, right? Imagine you're in the years past, right? This is before smartphones were a thing, and everyone and everything was in dollars when it comes to ordering your food, right? So picture this way years back, right? You're in New York City, your job was, 4 or 5 blocks away, and you're right near a train station, right? Of course, it doesn't make sense to take a car because you're right there. You could take a bus, but you're in traffic almost all the time, so you have no choice but to take the subway, right? So you go down the stairs, hit this turnstile, and the way to get in was none other by using tokens. That's right, guys. Tokens. This was the most used way in years, decades past that tokens were made of. And, it worked at the time, it did its thing, got you in and out of the subway system. When the transfer, you could do that. But picture this again. You're carrying a wallet, you have cash, and then you have these tokens hanging around. Now, you can't fit, just like loose change, it's gonna be not a really pleasant place, right, to put in your pants, right? Because we gotta go pay something real quick. You pull out a subway token by accident when you actually meant 25 cent, a 25 quarter coin. So while it worked at that time, it wasn't very intuitive. So the MTA had to come up with another idea, and this idea all started in 1993 when MTA decided to think of a way that you could pay in and out of the subway and transfer all with just one little flimsy piece of plastic. And that piece of plastic was the only way to get in and out of the subway train, and it's simple, intuitive, works like a debit card, and it fits in your wallet like a debit card. Well, let's talk about the rise of the Metro card. So in 1993, the MTA decided to test out the idea of handing out these cards in these little machines called the Metro card machines. And by 2003, the whole MTA New York City Transit fully accepted them, meaning that almost every single station you go to has the Metro card machines, and the only way you have to get into them were use these cards. Tokens are now part of the New York City Transit Museum. I recommend you go there. It's fun and everything. But yeah, they're history now. They're a fun little relic to look past that. But Metro cards were the new norm. And with these Metro cards, again, like I said before, it's just basically like your normal average card, right? Before tap to pay was even a thing. All you have to do was, if you're new to the subway system, all you have to do is go to these machines, type in what type of card you wanted, and this is where things kind of get a little bit complicated at the time. But most people had this one option of Metro card, and that was this card right here, which is the pay per swipe card. There's also there's all different variants as well. You have the one-way Metro card, you have the reduced fare, the unlimited, and also for other MTA vehicles like buses and the air train. You know, they all had different variants as well. But most people had the pay per ride, which was this. And how that works is you get these cards, right? These cards have an expiration date, but let's say when you get into the subway system, you just had to either one again go to the machines and type how much you want to put in the card, and then once you accept the payment and get your receipt, the machine will spit you out one of these. And yes, certain vendors also had different types of Metro cards, like the MTA partnered up with bands and events to get Metro cards more looking good instead of this yellow and blue and yellow, blue and gold and stuff. But anyway, you you know, it'll spit you out one of these. And yeah, it'll spit you out one of these. And to swipe the Metro card, you just have to follow what it says on the bottom. And there's arrows too leading to it. All you gotta do is just go like that on the turnstile. There's this little guide that tells you that you'll see on in a picture. You put the little Metro card in it, and all you gotta do is go like this, your little chime, and there you go. You're in the subway system. Isn't it much better than tokens or these loose tokens in your pocket all the time? This is how this became the most simple and effective method yet. But for the MTA, this didn't just explode for the for the whole transit system, but also right across the state, another transit authority had interest. So much interest that it decided to implement the same idea and use the pay per ride card on their own system as well. I'll be right back, and we're going to talk more about the interest as well. So like I said before too, another transit authority right across the state also had some interest in that card as well. And that was none other than the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Because by the same time in 2023, PATH trains also moved on and accepted the Metro card as well. But there's a twist to that. The Port Authority of New Jersey only accepted the pay per ride card, meaning that this one where you just swipe, pay your fare, and keep on moving. So that actually worked pretty great for both transit authorities, because if you live in Queens, right? If you live in the Bronx, right? And you want to get from the Bronx all the way to Hoboken, well, the MTA takes the Metro card. The PATH, now since 2003, takes the Metro card. All I'm gonna do is carry this one little thing around. It's a win-win, right? Well, like I said, the MTA has its own different variants, and PATH also copied its homework as well, introduced its own variants too. You have the again, the pay per ride, which will spit you out. You have the one trip Metro card, and you also have, of course, the SmartLink card, which is PATH's own way of, they'll give you, instead of this, they'll give you something else, and you just tap it on the turnstile, and you're in. Has a little chip on the end too. That was PATH's own proprietary card. And also you had the one-way card, which, was only valid for 2 hours. So, yeah, PATH and MTA had its own variants, but if you want to get from New Jersey to New York by train, well, the PATH train and MTA both accept the pay per ride. So, all in all, this little card right here became the universal handshake with both transit authorities. So, that actually was pretty neat, and I think, was the greatest idea of all time, right? Instead of having your own card, have something that's universal, easy to use, and not much effort too. Again, you're just following where it says to swipe, and you're instantly in. But, all is happy, right? Right? PATH MTA both accept the Metro card, right? The paper ride. That's done, right? Happy ending, right? If that was the case, guys, this video would have not been made, because we have to talk about the downfall of the MetroCard as well, because the MTA also had an idea to pay for the subway system as well. And we'll get to that later on in the video too. So on May 31st, 2019, the MTA decided to test out a new idea to pay for the subway system. And that was none other than Omni. That's right, guys. Omni, which stands for One Metro New York, was the MTA's idea to pay around the subway system, and this was kind of to two different separate ideas for Omni, which was one, you get your own dedicated card at, just like the MetroCard, an Omni machine. However, if you don't feel like getting another card, well, the MTA said, well, what do most people have these days? What do most people have when they wake up in the morning? This is the first thing they check, and the last thing they turn off by the end of the night, right? Well, MTA decided to look towards people's smartphones, right? And that was it. That was Omni. On May 31st, again, 2019, Omni decided to begin testing around that year, and then 1 year later, in late 2020, Omni was system-wide in the whole metropolitan area, meaning that on the subways, now instead of seeing these little MetroCard holders for your MetroCard, you'll be seeing a nice little screen that says Omni in different ways you could pay. And again, if you did want to pay, if you're paying with Omni, you just need a dedicated Omni card and your smartphone. But let's say you don't have a smartphone that has NFC or that tap to pay feature. That's perfectly fine. Well, you could use your bank card, which may or may not have tap to pay. So you have different options how to get on the tram system as well. And at first I'm like, this is a great idea, right? This is a great idea of, you have different options, right? You get a physical card, you can physical card or use your phone, or use your banking card to do that. Now, I would recommend using your banking card, because someone could easily snatch it out of your hands and give themselves a free lunch. However, with Omni, things were quite good. But just like the MetroCard in Jersey City, another transit authority, I'm not going to tease you again. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey both had its own way too of introducing tap to pay as well. And this began in December 2023 with tap. And not tap with one P, but two P's. Tap works the same with Omni. You just use your phone or your mobile, use your phone, or if you don't have a phone, use a banking card to tap on the turnstile. And again, it seems simple and effective, but there's only one problem with that. There's one big problem that I think most people overseeing this, and I had to tell you guys this. So I'm going to be right back again, get my thoughts together, and I'm going to tell you about the big problems that Omni and Tap both have. So by April and May of 2024, Omni was really well made and implemented on the whole subway system. And by May 2024, New York and New Jersey PATH stations now are equipped with TAP. And as a user of both those different methods, I'd say using the phone is pretty simple and effective method. But however, like I said, there's a problem with that. And the problem that I came across with that is this, right? I'm going to picture this scenario right here, right? you don't have a phone that has tap to pay enabled, and you're in New York City, right? And you got yourself an Omni card, right? Where it costs to give you an Omni card, right? You have to get back to your hotel or your home, your house in Hoboken, right? Well, you get on to you hop on the L train, you take it down to 14th Street, transfer to the PATH system. And you're like, well, I got my Omni card right here. You know, I got my Omni card. I have some money on it. You know, I have to buy it. I don't have a phone that supports it. I have my card, but I'm not gonna put my card info out there, so I'll just use my Omni card, right? You give the thing a little tap, and then it gives you that feedback that says try again. You're like, huh? It just should work as back at my job, right? I just give a little tap. Port authority person comes up to you and says, what card you got there? Oh, this is my Omni card. Omni card they gave me. You know, I was using on the subsystem there. The person or lady tells you, oh, that's right. You can't use that on our system, sir. You have to you have to either use your phone or you have to use your banking card to do that. You're like, but I don't have a phone. I have a flip phone from Motorola. It does. I'm not sure if it has that or not. Well, sir, do you have a credit card or a debit card you can use to tap on instead? I don't. Do you guys dedicate a card? Well, sorry, sir. You have to use your debit or credit card to get in the subsystem. We're working on a way how to get a physical card, but we don't have it yet. We apologize for the inconvenience. Oh, well, okay. This has been inconvenient here. I'll just go ahead and take the bus back. I have still cash on my Omni card. See how that's an inconvenience, right? In case you guys missed the whole story, what I basically gonna break down is Omni and Tap don't work together at all. Unlike the Metro card, where you could just swipe to get into the turnstile on the PATH and the MTA, with the paper route, of course. With Omni and Tap, Omni's cards don't work on Tap readers, and once Tap gets their own dedicated card, it's not going to work on Omni readers. This is kind of confusing to me, because I'm thinking of the way normal consumer. I work at a job where I see people, like most and all of them have smartphones. That's fair to say that. But a small percentage of people don't have the latest and greatest phones at all. Like, some are blessed to have the money to go upgrade, but some don't want to upgrade. Some think their phone is fine. If they can take a phone call and text a friend, it's totally fine, right? They don't want a giant screen to look at, right? And, that's fair with that as well. So, with Tap not accepting Omni, and Omni accepting Tap and vice versa, you're making it hard on that small percentage of consumers that have, that Omni card already on them. Because with Tap, they don't have a dedicated card. And let's say they did have a dedicated card, well, that whole transition could have been easier, no? The guy could have been willing to pay money for a Tap card, but as I demonstrated in that little back and forth there, you don't have, the person doesn't want to person wanted to use their banking card on the machine, because what if he's fearing that someone's looking at him is going to steal it right out of his hand? Right? The person has a Motorola flip phone, but they're not sure if that's NFC or not. That's fair. The person probably hasn't watched Tech with Chris on his YouTube channel nor subscribed, which you totally should. Shameless plug, but you get the point, right? They're not up to date on the info. And it's not entirely their fault for that, So, how do we solve that problem? Well, let me talk to you guys about that real quick on how I myself would solve that problem instantly, effortlessly, and quickly. So I'll be right back with my thought on that. So the solution to that would be just have one company and one company work together on some sort of deal to have Omni work on Tap. Whether that be a software update where, Omni and Tap can work together, or yeah, that would probably be the way, right? Have Omni and Tap work together because, yes, in the end, most and all of us have smartphones like this, right? Fair game. But for those who don't, have the newest and greatest tech, or don't want to have giant screens to look at every single day, just look at Tap. This just instant work together, guys. Like, just work together. Omni and Tap work together. So that way your Omni card can be used on a Tap card, and once Tap gets their own dedicated card, it will be it'll be simple, effortless, and effective. And I think, my opinion, if that was actually happening as of right now, I would not have problem saying, well, they have a simple way. Just use the Omni card on a Tap reader and get to go, right? But it's not the case yet. So, Port Authority or MTA, if you're watching this video, consider working together and having Tap work on Omni cards, because I think with Tap and Omni, they can with Tap working on Omni, this will make things simple and effective a whole lot easier and mirror the way how the Metro card worked between both systems. So that's how I would solve it. But we're not quite done just yet, because we have to talk about the fall of the Metro card. So let's talk about that real quick. So, as the year is coming to a close, the MTA decided that by the end of this year, December 31st, 2025, the Metro card will be no more. Tap to pay with Omni is going to be replacing this little thing right here. And by fall of this year, merchants are no longer going to be selling these. And in 2026, in 2026, early that year, next year, the MTA is going to allow you to use whatever values on this card, whether they get a refund for it or use all its value, and potentially this is going to fade away. And this is where I say this, right? Goodbye, old friend. Goodbye to the little history maker right here, right? The Metro card, it's been nice knowing you. You've helped me get into the PATH MTA system. You helped customers easily make transfers between the stations and the trains. But just like with flip phones into smartphones and smartphones into foldables, technology is advancing, and so must you. Here lies, rest in peace, the Metro card. And with Omni, again, they implement my easy method. You become the most simple, effective, and easy to use way of paying in and around the subways. All you have to do was just work on both different trains, right? Work on both different transit authorities. And you, my friend, will succeed. And if you guys are asking about TAP as well, there is no dedicated timeline for TAP yet, but I'm pretty sure that's looming soon. But most importantly, I wanted to make this video as a farewell to the Metro card, because the Metro card feels like an old friend, right? Before I was into tech, I was into trains. And this right here is what I call the tech that got you on wheels, right? The tech that got you from a train station to another city to another borough. So, good old MetroCard, it's been nice knowing you. When your time is up next year, you usually go on my shelf and be remembered as a token of gratitude. A token that replaced all physical tokens. Thank you for all you did, and I'll miss you. Well, hope you guys liked that farewell video that I made for you guys. If you guys were part of the token era with the MTA, make sure you guys leave a comment and tell you about your experience of putting tokens in the turnstile. For me, I can't say anything about that because I wasn't born in New York. I wasn't, taking trains back then. The era I took trains in was the MetroCard era. But sound of comment section down below if you were part of that time. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video as well. So, if you guys liked what you see, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, follow my social media links to my video. I got a new series coming soon called Tech News of Chris that's gonna bring all bite-sized news into 3-minute or shorter videos too. So you can see in YouTube Shorts or 1 to 3 minute lengthy videos as well. So if you guys are excited for that new series, make sure you guys subscribe, click the bell, and also give this video a thumbs up too if you enjoyed it as well. You guys are awesome. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day and stay safe. The Chris signing off. Peace.